do you have a plot summary that you can give out?
It's a tough book to summarize, but I can give it to you real fast, right? I mean, I can give you the quick version of what this book is. Principally, it is an adventure story, and it is a story of before and after. The before is a series of events leading to an event that comes to be known and studied years in the future as the Great Viral Cataclysm. And I'll just kind of let that sit. It doesn't need to be explained, I think, beyond that. The after is focuses on a group of survivors who live in, for all intents and purposes, a walled compound protected by stadium lighting and high ramparts and concertina wire in the mountains of Southern California. These are the descendants of children who were evacuated from the city of Philadelphia. They believe themselves quite possibly and even probably to be the last human beings alive on the North American continent. And the action of the novel is a journey that a group of these people take from California to Colorado across a depopulated and dangerous North American continent, a journey in which they are led by a young girl whom they encounter who has somehow survived on her own outside in this wilderness, and who it seems may, in her person and in her past, contain the key to saving what's left of the human race.
Amy is the girl at the center of the book.
That's my girl.
And boy, her life starts out crappy, and because mom is hooking and leaving her in the bathtub to make a living, it goes downhill from there.
Amy's journey is a long one. Yeah, the journey of Amy is the journey of this book, and then 2 more volumes. She is, as my daughter challenged me. My daughter challenged me to write this book. She said, "Please write a book about a girl who saves the world." And that is this child who begins in the book she's born at the beginning of the novel. Part 1, I am born. Isn't that David Copperfield? I believe that's David Copperfield. For whom the world has a special destiny. She's the daughter of a woman who becomes homeless. I like to say that they are 2 of the world's, she and her mother are 2 of the world's forgotten and invisible people. The first chapter is really a portrait of how homelessness happens, how you can just sort of slip through the cracks through bad luck, a few bad choices, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and next thing you know, your life is a total wreck. And that's what happens to her, and that is the beginning of her journey.
You managed to make an already creepy genre, the plague book, creepier.
Mm-hmm. Well, I liked the idea of fusing different genres together, and the plague book is in itself a kind of subgenre of the apocalyptic genre, and it has some pretty classy residents like Camus. The idea of the passage is ultimately one that sort of fuses these different genres together in the form of this virus, which the what-if proposition of the book is this. What if all the vampire lore that we see in books and movies now, and we've seen in the past, and is present in many cultures, and it seems to have been around forever, the idea of the fanged tempter who haunts the night and lives forever and has all these, the various attributes to which we attribute to vampires. What if all of that actually had, like all legends and myths, a biological or physical reality somewhere in the world and somewhere in the past? What would it be like? And the answer is, it would be, in the case of this novel, it would be a virus that has the power to bestow, through its interaction with the thymus gland, extraordinary physical robustness and longevity, with, I'm sorry to say, some very unpleasant side effects.
It said in the back of the book that this is first of a trilogy. I see it possibly going 12 books, because there are sort of 12 mystical virus-carrying figures in the book.
Right.
So, you could really milk this to death, buddy.
Well, I could write 12 books if I had that energy for 12 books, and I was about 10 years younger than I am. I mean, I'm sounding like some old grandpa. I'm in my 40s, but I felt like 3 was the right number. Though I'm not in love with the word trilogy, simply because it suggests that that, for instance, that the middle book is just a pathway between the first and the third. I'm really pretty committed to making sure all these books have a strong freestanding nature, that you could pick them up independently and be satisfied. I mean, I think you'll get more out of reading them together, but I don't think of them as 3 chapters. I do think of them as three books. This you don't need a PhD to figure this one out. Beginning, middle, and end makes sense. 3 parts makes a lot of sense, and it's going to keep me super busy for a really long time. And maybe there's more stories out there. I don't know. I have the whole thing planned essentially to reach a kind of crescendo of conclusion in the 3rd book.
The book is The Passage, the first of the, what are you going to call this series? The Passage series? The Passage universe?
They're going by trilogy, and I think that's fair. I don't think it's the best word, but it's the one we got.
And I've been talking to the author, Justin Cronin, and Justin Cronin's The Passage is published by Ballantine Books, distributed in Canada by Random House.